You may have already talked yourself out.
No, I
Hey,
haven't talked at all.
okay. Oh, you haven't. You were just waiting for me to say something. Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
Oh, I was chattering like nobody's business, and we have been live for seconds. People wondering what the heck is wrong
So,
with them. All this non sequiturs.
well, yeah.
The hell are you people talking about?
First off, we're 30 minutes late.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to work late. Okay, so let me go on a little rant.
Okay.
Uh, the
This will
so
be a first. I don't think you ever complain.
well, I am going to
I,
complain a little bit.
I'm
Yeah, I know
kidding.
you're kidding. I I so I so I have an employee who is constantly short on his time, on his hours, and he doesn't have a lot of vacation. Has some health challenges, nothing overly serious, but definitely a thing. And so he had a little bit of time, and so a couple Friday or last Friday, or maybe it was Friday before last. Anyway, he took off. He said, "I need a me day. I'm going to take off." And I thought, when he did it, I thought, you don't have a lot of time. That might not be the best idea. I mean, mind you, I have 400 hours of time. Now, I get more than he does, and I've been there longer, blah, blah, blah. But most of my employees have about 100 hours saved up.
Uh huh.
And so he takes off. Well, then Tuesday or Monday, he can't come in. Doesn't feel good. Is sick. So then, then yeah, no, I'm not complaining about Daniel or Dan. So then today he's like, "Hey, can we work late?" And I go, "Well," and he goes, "I'm trying to make up time." And I had work to do, and I knew he would be short. So I said, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Well, I would have worked late yesterday, but I had something I wanted to do after work." And I'm thinking, well, I always have something I want to do after work. But I said, "You know what? We can work late." Then he said, "Can we stay late Friday?" And I said, "No, okay, because in my work I get off. I work half a day on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
but I work 9.5 hours during the week. So if you add that up, it comes to close to 40. I'm usually about 2 hours short. Well, I've been busy because I have added responsibilities at work, but big time. I'm over eight more people. I'm not their supervisor, but I have to process their work. So
Mm-hmm.
I am now looking over 30 people's art, no, 20 people's artwork as part of my daily job, and routing it. As my boss
Mm-hmm.
says, I'm an air traffic controller. But anyway, so I said, well, sure. But meanwhile, I'm probably sitting at 41 hours right now. And he's like, and I got to unlock the building tomorrow. So he's like, "Hey, could you stay till 1:30?" And I'm going, "Dude, if I stay till 1:30, somebody's gonna have a cow because I'll get 7 hours of over. You're not supposed to really get overtime at my work
Yeah.
without prior approval from your supervisor."
Yeah. Your comptroller.
Well, I mean, I can do whatever I want to do because I'm a management, but it's just like, I mean, I don't want
And
to.
you've been there so long, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it is amazing. I've been there. I passed 34 years the other
Oh
day.
my gosh.
You can't imagine, can you?
I've never worked any place. Uh,
30
even
days.
even a fraction of that.
What's
Yeah.
the
Well, I'm
longest?
trying to think.
What's the
Probably
longest you've
Cliff,
ever worked
Cliff,
somewhere
Cliff. That Cliff's job.
with the
Yeah,
phone
moved.
book stuff?
Yeah, the phone book stuff right
Oh
after
God,
college.
that job sounds so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, my boss
it
told.
was a little bit of fun. Yep.
Yeah, we used to. My job used to be more like that, where we would draw. We drew a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and by hand. That's what I miss is drawing. I mean, everybody goes
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you should draw your comics on the computer." I'm like, no, let's not. I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see any
Well,
reason to. I fix stuff in Photoshop. Everybody's like,
hmm
"Oh, you
Sure,
can move
that's
it."
your digital moment.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, so
getting in Photoshop.
here's a perfect example, and I think Dan is watching, so this will be.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to when I was drawing this, and when I got to here and I started drawing, I realized my feet were going to be cramped here. So I extended the panel a little bit, and I just left me a little cheat. I'm like, I'll just scooch it all up in Photoshop.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that's
sure.
my
little note about what you're going to do later. And do it.
That's my digital. You know. Anyway, so I was going to go downtown and walk tomorrow. God, it's cold outside. Holy cow, that cold front came in.
Oh, I haven't checked the cold in a while. Dummy here got himself into deciding he could slip in before it really started to rain, and I got caught in a pretty good downpour.
Oh yeah, you must have been walking about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, something like that. A little after 10.
Yep.
But it was a light sprinkle, and I said, "Oh, this is delightful."
Yeah.
and all of a sudden,
until you got the farthest way possible from your car.
I was the halfway point, and I had to run over there and get under the awning at the. Luckily, I was close enough to that. I got it.
Oh, at the
hung
Y.
out at the Y for a while, and.
Are you a member of the Y? You're not a member.
No, I really would like to be. I should find the budget for that.
God, as old as you are, I think it'd be practically free.
Oh, you think so? I'll look into it.
Don't they have senior discount? I mean, I just kind of hassling you a little bit, but.
Well, yeah, but yeah, you're right. Almost. By the way, audience, I'm 69 years old.
69.
69 and a half. So.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Hey,
yeah, and my brain really can't wrap around 70. It's amazing. When I think of all the people I know now that are dead, it's just like
that is
wow.
Yeah. That is without a doubt. Other than the pain of daily waking up, and when at one point I was like, God, will I ever wake up with my back not hurt? And then I decided, will I ever wake up and only my back hurt?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's like, oh, geez.
Yeah, right now after that self-diagnosis of an angina attack, I figure like the clock is definitely ticking, and it could be any moment. But for some reason, it's like, well, I have been doing a couple of things that could be thought of as self-improvement. Like I've titled this thing that we're doing today, Learn, Think, Do, from this YouTuber that's got some pretty good content. I respect some of the people he's referring to that I have read their stuff. But, it's so simple to learn something every day, because if you're going to turn YouTube on, I kind of do it anyway. But like today on YouTube, I learned how to put timestamps on these videos.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm going to go back and edit our videos and try to kind of like put little highlights of what we get up to and talk about. And down at the bottom, you'll see it, because I think that's pretty hip looking little thing down at the bottom to say, oh yeah, I can go right to that. And then in the comment section, you can, if you feel like shortcutting that way, of course you don't need to. I mean, you can use the scrub bar to shortcut to what you find interesting. Anyway, I learned something. But then the other one is think. And the easy way to find yourself thinking is to be writing some sort of essay every day, or doing some sort of writing. And so I've started another one of those. And I'm not going to just say okay, a journal is thinking. Nah, that's too much. Like I went to the park and got wet. I'm trying to have actual.
Adam the woo.
yeah. Look
a dog.
Yeah, the squirrel.
A squirrel.
Yeah.
Hey, I love Adam the woo.
Oh yeah, everybody does. That's his appeal. And if you study a guy like Russell Brand, that's the other thing the guy ought to be learning is. And that's another one. This guy makes one of those points of being a guy that says, drives his traffic by always putting "be a millionaire" in his stuff, and so naturally it's like, I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah, whoa, wait a minute, why? Do you want to be a millionaire, Ellis? What good would it do you at this point?
Well, I mean, that's what got me as far as a click. Like he says early on, it's like $1 million is not really, if you got here because
Yeah.
you're wanting to be a millionaire, that means nothing. What you want to do is do this sort of stuff I'm going to mainly talk about, which is, this kind of living kind of stuff of,
Multi-level marketing. Oh.
yeah, none. And, he's got good points. I ought to come up with a name for the guy. Here you go. It won't take me long.
I like the idea of the timestamp. That will help the
Yeah.
YouTube police figure out where we committed the bannable offense.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
why did
yeah.
I
So
draw her ear? She's wearing headphones.
his name is Anthony Bacino, Vicino, Bacino. And, this is a bunch of notes I took today while I was watching him. This is where I was learning time codes. But learning time, thinking, and do. And then that's the third one is do. Do something every day.
Good
and,
grief. You did a lot of notes. I'm looking at your notes up there. Holy cow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is
You're serious about it.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I'm going to start taking notes. I've got this early in the book. I've got the notes I took earlier about Neil Gaiman, about how often he takes if you're
Bath.
running, how often he takes a bath, about how often his stories will be about revising basically old fairy tales, which of course are usually public domain, so you don't have to worry about anybody coming along suing you. But he does such a great job of saying, okay, let's revise Sleeping Beauty and make her into a vampire or something cool like that, and it's like, of course, Gaiman's a great writer. I just got finished with something called, I think it's called Graveyard Story, and it's about a kid named Nobody Jones that his parents are killed by this mysterious Jack the Ripper type of character, and the people in the graveyard that he just accidentally blunders into as a 1-year-old child decide they're going to adopt him. And it's a pretty cool little story. Really, it works as something that really catches you up, and good characters.
Gotcha.
Plus he's a great narrator of his own work. Something I can't really say about Harlan Ellison. It's like, geez, Ellison, you should have got somebody else to do this.
I have a copy of Harlan Ellison reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've never made it through it, by the way.
Yeah. People don't get that you've got to really put a regulator on the acting when you're reading a book. You don't want to win an Oscar when you're reading a book.
So for a couple of years, I took, I don't know what you call this, but it was basically, I was part of like a Bible study, we'll call it, for lack of a better word. But it was a guy that I know that had written several books about different theological subjects, and he taught this class at my church, and I took it. It was I learned a lot, but he would always have us read. He would say, hey, somebody read. He would say, Scott, read, Genesis 17:11.
Oh, that's so much fun to group read. Yeah.
Well, here was his thing. When we first started, he said, and when you read and you're reading the Bible, he said, put a little oomph into it. And I always like that, and I try and do that, when I'm reading.
Well, yeah, it's better not to be flat, but you gotta
right.
You gotta regulate. You gotta find a medium.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was I seeing today? Oh, I saw a bunch of other stuff, while I'm learning and stuff. So I typed in Doug's name and got all kinds of hits. And I found one little short bit where he was showing off your favorite pencil. And he said it was only a 2-minute thing, and it may have been a pretty old clip too. And it says, "This is the only pencil you need." And
what is it?
It's your Sharp Right.
that one? Yeah. Like this.
Yeah, like that one you're
It
probably using right now.
Well, no, you know what I'm using? I'm using an Eagle H, Ellis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're using a hard
Do you
pencil.
still?
Yeah.
Well, do you still have any? Well, I'm kind of doing roughs. Do you have any of these left
I'm not sure. I'd have to look in my big,
in your stash?
yeah, my
Well,
stash,
you
which I've
remember
got so many stashes.
you gave me one of these. That's why
And
you
you looked
gave
for them
me.
on eBay and found a bunch,
Yeah,
right?
I found a box of them,
Cool.
but they're from like 1939.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, yeah.
It is amazing, and it's better. They work great, and I have not found a modern equivalent. It's just got
hmm
a. I mean, I can draw this real loose and light, and
hmm
I with the same pencil, I can come in here and just put a little more pressure on it, and
Hey,
it immediately darkens up. What?
I'll tell you an art supply that you need to buy is buy
Oh, blue tack. Blue
blue
tack.
tack.
I've
Yeah,
seen your post about blue tack.
that's good
The
stuff.
miraculous stuff. It's an
Yeah, just
eraser, right?
yeah, and use it just like silly putty. Just mash it onto your pencils, and it picks up nice and neat. It doesn't scrub the graphite around. It leaves a nice little ghost for inking. Only if you're going to be inking, of course. Obviously
I
you're not worried about picking up your pencils
if you're
but
not inking.
but maybe again on like refining your pencils. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
these are so messy at this point, and then going back in and mashing them down and saying, I'll just get hard here on this little area.
well, I mean, that's what I'm doing now with a kneaded eraser.
Scott, could I make one suggestion? This is from Dan.
No, yeah, I mean,
Okay,
yes,
you're like Wednesday Addams, that actress that played Jen.
about the top panel. Okay, yes, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, make it. Shoot. I'll pass it on.
I'm waiting. He's typing.
He's typing.
That's
He's got a
long.
lot of changes to make.
I deal with changes all day. I know how to deal with people make changes.
Scott will be doing another rant.
No, no. Whatever he says, I'm just gonna say, we'll fix it in inks
We'll
because
fix
I'm not
it in
doing
post.
We'll fix it in post. You're gonna have to send this along, Ellis.
I am. Just as soon as I see it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. No, it should show up. Maybe he's got a lot of notes.
Oh God.
Yeah. What do you want? A middle ground, a foreground? Let's see what he wants. Here we go. Here it is. What about having a window or two being blown out? Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, add some action to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Kablooey.
Like one of these up here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that, Dan. That's good. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. I'm assuming he meant one of the because when I
Those
drew
top
it,
windows.
yeah, I kind of thought these were the top windows. So I'll come in here.
I'd blow the door out. Blow a big ragged kablooey in the door. Wim wants to know if we enjoyed the rain.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did?
yeah. I enjoyed having my socks soaked and running along like a 70-year-old idiot, thinking about my heart with every plodding step.
You feel that specter of death, don't you?
Yeah, I feel it every moment now.
Maybe you better get right. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Make your peace with. Oh.
Yep.
I say that jokingly, but I'm not joking, Ellis. If you think,
I know you're double vaxxed. I know it could happen to you at any
No, I'm not talking about double vax. I'm talking about Jesus. Somebody lived in California too long.
we can save the door being blown off once BC is inside the building.
Okay, who's BC? No, I'm kidding.
I believe that is one of these bankers that they're.
The black cricket. Come on. Oh, I forgot.
Had to go to Moore twice during that downpour, huh? Oh well, that would have been brutal. If you got caught in the right kind of level.
Does Wim live here?
Dan wasn't saying that. No,
that was Wim. I didn't know Wim lived here. How did I not know that?
Oh, I think he's mentioned it before. Yeah, and he
I thought it was
we
like
talk
in
about the snow
Oklahoma.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I thought it was Oklahoma. I didn't realize it was here. Oh well.
I think I did know it.
You did?
I think I did. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Sorry, Wim.
Yeah, we started a little late. Had confusion. All that went on.
Well, I had to work late. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah,
didn't have.
we already went over that. Yeah. I
Yeah, I
guess.
didn't. I didn't have to. But
Do you
one of
realize everything that you could possibly know about drawing is wrapped up in that tire trick I showed you of
yes,
the depth on the wheels? It's
I
like,
use that all. I use that all the time
and it's
from the
you know,
Ellington brothers or whatever their name
yeah,
is.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, everything you need to know about drawing too is found in the Ether. I'd have to look up their names. They got one of those whim comments. I comment on a whim. There
yeah,
is a difference.
I've been liking the drawings you've been posting, Ellis.
Yeah, it's been fun to have something like Instagram as an outlet, which, I've got a link to my Instagram account if anybody feels like joining it that don't already follow me. Oh, the other day, it was really funny. Jeff Ranjo, who's this really good Disney story artist that I think he's even gone beyond uh, just being a story artist. He's like head of story here, and he's got some really super credits lately. And he must be getting near retirement if he feels like it. Um, but he had apparently a Zoom call with all these guys that used to be in our tag group, and he did a brutal caricature of every one of them, and it was just it was a lot of fun to.
Were you in on it?
No, I wasn't in on it. Yeah, I would have been probably still getting over the trauma, basically. If
Oh my God, he made fun of my hair.
oh, yeah, it would have been tough to take. No, he's a really good caricaturist because they're just so lively and funny. Uses a lot of line. I'm trying to think of somebody that reminds me of. He's
I think I may be Facebook friends with him or something on Instagram, maybe or something. There's somebody that
well,
it,
yeah.
but I forget who. There's somebody that I'm friends with that on Instagram that knows you. I mean, outside of my circles, you
Uh
know.
huh. I was, while I was looking at the Tenable thing where I saw the thing about the pencil, why was I looking him up? Oh, I just wanted to see if he was using timestamps. I could pass that on to him, how easy it is, because that's all you have to do is add the right kind of, and it's nothing in terms of like code. It's just having the data entered in your comments, and so he doesn't. And so I need to pass it on to him how easy that is because, he's making thousands of dollars every month. But the random stuff that came up for Doug, my gosh, Ethan Van Sciver and his little group are just obsessed with Doug. He must,
Oh yeah.
he had
Why do they
dozens.
hate? Why do
I,
they hate Doug? I don't know. I mean,
I think it's just because he's a big enough name that hating him matters. Hating me would be a waste of effort. Or
no,
not even
it's
so much hating, just wanting to gig him, a little bit. And
well, I've seen the intro. I keep trying to find one to send you, but the intros of one of Ethan's videos, he's got people caricatured. He uses one of those video things where you put somebody's picture on top of a real person doing something,
hmm hmm
And there's one with something with Doug, and the implication is, please have me on your show so I sell my book, And
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure Doug is like, I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure Doug could
Well,
give a crap about.
it's a great resource. But I saw Van Sciver recently. Now that I'm back on Twitter, he was talking about how you aren't allowed. don't just think of us as some way to make lots of money just because, we'd be great for your
Oh yeah.
thingamajig. You've got to be pure and ready to,
God. Oh
or
my
something.
gosh.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
must be
I'm
pure
mutilating it.
blood.
But
No.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But the Doug stuff was going to the trouble of cutting and having Doug comment clips. It wasn't the whole big session embedded. It was on purpose to have. You'd find, if you, like me, if you'd search for Doug TeNapel, you'd find Ben Skyber commenting on Doug.
Oh yeah.
So, to go to that much trouble to create little clips shows a little bit of obsessiveness there.
Especially without a timestamp.
Yeah. I'm not. You know what? I don't think he had timestamps either. Boy, I tell you what, the sophistication required for timestamps, and believe me, it's nothing.
I'm telling you, man, it's like you own the cosmic cube.
Yeah. My wife likes one of Doug's channels. I don't want to say which because of YouTube stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think he's gone beyond sneaking under the radar now. I think I've just let him back in. I haven't seen anything EBS stuff lately. That's the deal. I think he's not getting as much traffic as he used to. I don't know. And, that's important when you're making a lot of money from your YouTube.
I mean,
it's all that matters really is your traffic.
I don't care about any of those guys or whatever. I mean, it's weird to me how people hate them.
Yeah, but no, you should never do that.
Odd. But yeah, I mean, come on, but man, occasionally there'll be something. All those live videos that are hours and hours, like, who in the world is watching this?
Yeah, well, it is probably like I say, when we were in that little studio there down close to the beach, and Miller and all those guys were doing their Malibu comics. The biggest thing that was keeping them from working was those guys were on the phone all the time. That solitary thing, it's not for everybody. The solitary confinement of doing comics is rough on a guy.
That's funny.
You're looking for procrastination excuses, and
yeah, I think you'd be good at that, and you never did that. No, I mean, not on a big scale.
I whipped out my own little indie comic while I was around those guys, and they were all acting like, what is the pointless exercise of this thing? And they were pretty much right. I just lost money, but it was kind of like a high watermark.
All comics lose money, Ellis.
Yes, I know.
Oh, sorry. Except for ours, Dan.
Yeah, that's right. You guys are.
You know what? I mean, it's like, if I wasn't drawing this, what would I be doing? I'd be drawing something. I'd be drawing something.
Well,
I'd be drawing something.
That guy that wrote the War of Art is I should know his name by now. He wrote another book called Mr. Pressman. He writes so well.
The hot gates.
Yes.
Or the hot. I have that.
Gates of Fire.
Oh, Gates of Fire. That's right. That's right.
I've
got that. Where do I have that?
Awesome book. All about the 300 that stood up to the impossible odds. But anyway, like he writes, the greatest feeling in the world is to lay on the bank next to the river, and the river is the muse basically, and you are entitled to that feeling every time you do the work.
Yeah.
And that work, that's the only reason you need to be doing anything, is how much it makes you feel good.
Yep. I mean,
on one hand, I appreciate that group spotlight and the mean kids in comics. Yeah. I stay out of the BS.
I agree with that.
I want good art and storytelling, but I get tired of them being the only thing they talk about. Oh, we're going to own comics with Black Critic. Oh yeah.
with Black
We're going to
Cricket.
be the new Marvel. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I just crammed in everything he'd said here in the past few minutes.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I just finished reading a book about Steve Ditko,
Uh-huh.
and hang on, let me go grab it real quick. I got it right
Okay.
in the other room here. I won't even. I got my headphones on. I won't even have to be off the phone. But anyway, well, I'm not done with it. I say finish the book. I'm not quite done with it.
Cool. You're echoey now. That's good. I like that.
That's
Extra
good.
extra special effect. When I'm doing the timestamp, I say echo.
Echo, mysterious echo. So
Mhm.
I'm reading this book right now. I'm about done with it. Called the Mysterious Traveler, Steve
Uh-huh.
Ditko and the Search for a New Liberal Identity. And I disagree with some of this guy's stuff, but it's interesting because he basically goes through all of Steve Ditko's work and tries to develop he tries to use that to extrapolate with Ditko's
Pardon me.
beliefs, I guess, or value system, however you want to say that. And
Uh-huh.
it's really good, but
Is
man, it's deep.
Ayn Rand objectivism thing?
Well, it's a lot deeper than that. But that's kind because that's what everyone wants to talk about. And he's
Yeah.
like, well, sort of, you know. But it's interesting. I like Steve Ditko and I like the idea of Steve Ditko as a 90 however year old man he was in his studio there in Times Square drawing his comics.
Sure, yeah, continuing to say, hey, this is what I did. And I remember being a kid on my hands and knees reading the Sunday papers and deciding then that's what I wanted to do. And why should I ever change that?
Yep. And
You know?
yep. We need good RPGs these days. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Even though Ellis is not an RPG guy.
I've tried to be. I just can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
My group, my Dungeons and Dragons group recently has broken up.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well,
Is it cool? Is it hot? Was it a hot breakup?
no. It was no. It was just
Looking for conflict.
the
Oh,
guy
did everybody hate
yeah,
each other?
timestamp this. No,
Okay.
the guy whose house we met at
Oh, that'll break it up. Yep.
basically we played because his son wanted to play.
Uh-huh.
And his son has turned 16 and he has discovered girls. I mean, no, he's got a job and so he can't play on Saturdays. So they wanted to play on Sundays and I can't
Can't
do it
do
on
that.
Sunday. No, I can't
Yeah.
do that. Jesus frowns on playing devil games on Sunday.
Take a
No,
whip to you.
exactly. Whip me right out of the temple. No,
The
the
money changer.
yeah,
What do you?
exactly.
Is there money in this? Whack.
Yeah, take that. I always like that when people say, "What would Jesus do?"
Yeah.
I go, well, let's see. What would he
bull
do?
whip.
He'd like to take a whip to him, and then they always tell me, "Well, yeah, that's the people that were
No, that's
stealing
a
in the church."
rare instance.
Yes. Well, and I pointed out somebody else. He also said, "Sell." What do you say? Sell your cloak and buy a sword. Because somebody, I took exception. I took exception in the Sunday school book because it referred to Jesus as peace loving.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, that makes it feel like a hippie. And they're like, well, he was peace loving. I go, yeah, explain this to me then. Sell your cloak and buy a sword.
Mhm.
I came not to bring peace. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I mean, I
Jesus,
love
now,
the fact that you know your Bible. That's I don't, and except for the big memories of being in church and listening to a lesson or here or there. I've not read it much myself, and here I went to all that trouble. I saw the Steve McQueen old Western TV series, and there was this guy's voice. I said, man, that actor's got one hell of a voice. And I'm so envious of people with great auditory, I envy your voice. And,
well,
and Anyway, so I looked this guy up, because that was easy to do. He was in that episode, and that guy he's done the entire audio book of the Bible.
The whole Bible?
Yep, the whole Bible. And then it turned out that's the one the library's got. So I've got the Bible as an audio book here on the hard drive. Haven't listened to a minute of it.
There you go.
And I started out, I fired up with this big project, just stopped.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Jesus chased people with improvised whips. So what did he do? Yes. Pick up a kind of like a ropes that was used to hang.
Yeah, rope. He kind of wove it and then made a whip.
Used for, gathering bunch of dates with or something. Yeah.
The question for Wim is, if Jesus did that, was able to sit there and in the temple find rope and make a whip, do you believe that was the first time he had done that and the only time?
Yeah.
he was awful good at it for just doing it once. That's all I'm saying.
Probably, while he was a carpenter, he had a few apprentices get on his nerves.
Yeah, probably whipped him.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all you do. That's all you could do back then. It's like try to get people's minds right. I was thinking about that.
We need to bring that back to get people's minds right.
Oh well, that's what China is all about. So
getting our minds right. Oh yeah. Well, hey. So what do you think about the Russians tearing up or knocking down our drone or whatever they did?
I think it's fascinating. I've seen that footage, and
it's
fascinating.
I haven't seen the footage.
Oh, well, they've got two shots. One, they do a flyby of it, which is the beauty shot of the drone. But then they do the one that's shot from the drone. Yeah, the Russian thing is a beauty shot. But then the footage from the drone shows them coming up with those little fighter-looking bombers that they've got. I forget, they're the SU something or other. I don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
They look, a lot like the MiG-29, but they're bigger. And they do a fuel dump on them to where, it drops all that fuel. And you could see later on the footage before it blanks out shows a bent prop on it. So it's going in because they said they acted like they had control of it enough to say, well, we sent it in, so it wouldn't be a hazard. But I imagine it just headed for the ground.
Well, and now last I heard, the Russians said they will retrieve it.
Yeah. What can you do there? It's like
they retrieve everything we lose.
Oh yeah. Well, the deal was they lost some major stuff when we invaded. What was that? We were just losing stuff right and left. And
Afghanistan?
Afghanistan.
Yeah,
and it was just like it was all going like highest bidder stuff. And of course, China was always the highest bidder for who they're going to send it to.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot of that. I need to send some more notes over. I'm sorry, I'm up and doing something else right at the moment.
Oh, wait. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my screen, which I'm looking at, and it looks like I'm behind on note sharing. Let's have a look.
Oh. I thought okay. Sorry.
Don't be concerned with the wrath of the spiteful man. That's interesting. Been waiting on the government to tell us what happened. I'm sure it's happened before. I'm going back and forth from Dana. Live in fear of the wrath of the peaceful man. Mm-hmm. I think the thing now is aliens are out there. That's totally for the sake of distraction.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to die on this hill, and I'm certainly not going to. But I literally do not believe in aliens. Everybody's like, "Oh, there are aliens out there," and I'm like, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
There may be life out there, but I don't think it's
anywhere that would get around to giving us a visit.
Right. If they can, I feel like if they were here, they would have already interacted with us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, And even then, I just don't believe it. It's like Bigfoot. I don't think there's no Bigfoot. you know?
Speaking of ridiculous stuff, we've both seen that movie on Roku, Weird,
Oh yeah,
which I finished off last night. Gosh, that's a funny movie. Of course, I'm a big fan of UHF too,
Oh, are you
which
really?
apparently did not do well. I thought that was a
No,
huge hit.
no.
Sometimes rational men have to do irrational things.
Oh, Killdozer. I know Killdozer. You know who that
Yeah,
is? You know who that is?
Killdozer.
It's a
Who is
guy
that?
that welded. It's a guy, I believe. Correct me if I'm
Oh,
wrong.
I
The
love
guy that
that guy.
welded. You love that guy. Welded himself in. They were going to take his
Welded a dumpster over the top of
a bulldozer or
yeah,
something. I don't know what. I
bulldozer.
don't know
Yeah,
how he
yeah. He
did it,
made it.
but
He made
yeah,
his own tank.
made his own tank and
Went
tore up
to
all the buildings at
town.
City Hall.
Uh-huh.
Then he shot himself.
The
So
gator in Lake Dirty Bird. Where is Lake Dirty Bird? I don't know.
like Thunderbird.
Oh, okay, Dirty Bird. Huh. I believe in aliens, but I also believe that we're like the St. Louis of the universe, and they avoid us. Yeah, like to play. Avoid St. Louis. There's our travel tip for the day.
We went through St. Louis a few months ago. I say we, it was me and a group from work. We're going to the Illinois plant. You have to drive through St. Louis. I got photos of the arch, the Gateway
Oh,
Arch.
the gateway.
Escape from New York was part of it was filmed in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to go somewhere where nobody just raises absolute heck about whether or not you close down their streets or not, and stuff
Well,
like that.
well, they had a fire there in the downtown, in an area downtown, and they hadn't rebuilt a lot of stuff, and so the people in St. Louis, the government was like, "Yeah, you can film here, just pay us."
Hmm.
And so that was, they allowed them to shut down power for blocks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that John Carpenter. He's done so many unique, fun, memorable things that
Well, Escape from New York is one of my favorite movies.
ah yeah.
So I was at the perfect age to see it when I saw it.
Well, yeah, it draws you in just perfectly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it's like,
That's
oh
all
my
we're talking
gosh,
about is does the story work?
does the
Oh, I got
story.
you. I love this guy that teaches writing, but here's his six questions. If you can answer these six questions, you got a story. Who's it about? What do
Okay.
they want? Why can't they get it? What do they do about that? Why doesn't that work? And how does it end?
Oh
So
gosh.
so
Well,
those little six notes to yourself, it's like, well, can I answer that? Who's it about? What do they want? Why can't they get it? What do they do about it? And why doesn't that work? And then then it's like when you do get it to work, because it's unmentioned, it's in the subtext there, because you eventually do get something to work,
yeah,
and then it
sure.
ends. So that's how does it end? Piranha have been pulled out of Thunderbird.
Really.
Some jerk probably tried to get a good colony going that thought he was being cute.
Well, Wim says firsthand knowledge, so I don't know if he's the jerk or he's the.
Huh.
I don't know.
Oh, well, wait a
God.
second. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Okay, I get you. I
He,
went through it when I was 13. Scary place. Yeah, St. Louis.
oh yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China is Dan's vote for best.
It's a close one, but I didn't see it at the right age.
Dan can answer those six questions about black cricket. Yep.
There you
Yep.
go.
As a writer, all six of them.
Oh, why can't he
Yeah.
have
Oh,
it?
you caught him. Now, wait a second. Are you saying that you physically, Piranha, have been pulled? Okay.
He
No.
noodled him out of there.
First-hand knowledge for what it's worth. Okay, you did say first-hand knowledge.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Hola. See, you're a better listener than I am reader. I'm the one passing it on. I didn't catch that he had first-hand knowledge of it. Man, that must be something to pull out that little razor sharp teeth little critter and say,
Oh
"Ooh,
God!
this doesn't
Whoa! Yeah,
belong here."
yeah. Oh, hey, you're Fly Fox Pro.
Mm-hmm. Howdy, Fly Fox.
Cool.
I've been checking out Fly Fox. Oops, uh, pretty often on. I guess it's Twitter anymore. He gets in a back and forth every now and then with somebody, and I finally went to the comic book store to order the Heaven's Rejects I pre-ordered.
Oh, nice. I hope you like
Too,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I have. Well, I was gonna
Of
say I have
course,
nothing good.
you
I have nothing
you've
good to
moved
say about the
on.
publisher. No,
You've
that's
moved
no, no,
on
no,
on
no,
Heaven's
no, no, no.
Rejects.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think Dan is still on. Here's the thing.
Okay.
When I did Heaven's Rejects, I was very happy to do it. I enjoyed it. I liked the writer. I liked the story, but I had some issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
And primarily I thought there was a lot of profanity in it. And I
Mm-hmm.
voiced my concern, and the writer said, "Trust me, it'll be fine." And that was okay, but that always bugged me. And then when it came out and people were like, "Oh, I want to buy your comic," I had to tell them, "Well, okay, but I got to tell you, there's a lot of profanity in there." And then people would either go, "Oh, okay," or they would go to me, they would look at me like, "Well, what do you think I am? Some kind of prude? Of course, who cares?" And I'd be like, "Well, okay, whatever." But I just got, whatever. But and I
Yeah,
haven't.
and from now on, you should probably already always go to your, well, no, that they are two separate roles. You just have to decide whether you want to help out or not. Zebco Rod and Reel is how he caught those.
Oh man, that should be an ad.
Yeah, Zebco Rod and Reel for all your piranha.
4 cents.
I meant pickup.
Oh, pickup. Well, I
Yeah,
know
that's
you
what.
meant.
Yeah. That did seem odd. I was reading that as that's an odd structure. He
I
meant
knew. Well,
you're going to
I hope
the
you like
comic book
them.
store
I
to
mean,
pick them up.
I did the best I could do at them. I mean, I'll be honest. I will bring up any concerns. I no, I think we're on the same boat on this.
Hmm.
And it wasn't really. I mean, and there were some things. I made a list and told him this is what I don't want in there.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I didn't. Well, I said, okay, we can do this. It was Heaven's Rejects, so it's angels that come out of heaven, or they get kicked out of heaven.
Hmm.
And I said, I said the, I said I don't want to. I don't put Jesus in it, and don't put God in it. And he didn't.
Hmm.
But I did say, man, there's a lot of language in here. He said, trust me, it'll be fine. I said, you sure? He said, oh, yeah. Which my thing is always, why would you do that? Because to me, I felt like it was alienating part of the audience.
Hmm.
Or at least, it's like, hey, you're doing this
And,
fun
and
kind of
you and
thing.
you've gotten that feedback, haven't you, from people
Yeah.
that have told you that? Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
it's a little ripe here.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
but I don't regret doing it
Hmm.
at all. I mean, even though I haven't got any money, but that's a different story. I regret that it's not getting collected. That
Hmm.
that that really
Yeah,
sticks
yeah.
in my
You want to have
craw.
a trade of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, that because I went into it thinking there would be a trade. No, I mean, I wasn't promised one or anything like that, but it was just kind of this. I mean, I felt like there was.
Fly Fox isn't up to date that we got
Oh,
our
no, no, no.
collaborator in the notes that is who you're working with.
Oh, okay. So Fly Fox Pro, I'm working on a book called The Black Cricket. Let me pull some art out. And it's a superhero kind of thing, and it's really pretty cool. And Dan, the writer, is actually commenting, is listening to the feed. So I've been, and it's 10. It's so far it's two 10-page chapters, and we're gonna try and get it in the well, we're trying to get it in Antarctic Press, but I don't know if that's good. I mean, it's not. Nothing's the thing until it's a thing. But I think that's the thing that Dan is kind of reaching out to Ben done with. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
It's only good if it's like, to me, is like if it comes off as semi funny. I enjoyed the lack of profanity in Weird Al, even though it was one of those things where, no, that could have been loaded with vulgar language and stuff. Having sex with Madonna and all that stuff. It was, it had excuses where it got real vulgar, but that's not Weird Al. It wouldn't have been.
I would say to me, as far as like comics go, I mean, like Bronze Age Marvel, or like the I mean, the book that I always carry with me is the Dark Phoenix saga, and so my thing is that's kind of the pinnacle. That's, to me, that's the model. So It's like, well, occasionally there's a few dams,
Oh yeah, sure. No, you gotta somehow reflect. Someone's got a little passion here and there. Natasha International has dropped in to say hi.
Oh my
Howdy,
gosh.
Natasha.
Yes, it has been a fat minute.
Hey, Fly Fox Pro, nice to meet you too. How do you spell two? Let me look. I think you got it wrong.
Oh
no. Look. No, he got it right. I thought he spelled TWO. That's my dyslexia.
He got it.
Hey, Fly Fox Pro.
Oh, thank you.
It's an automatic.
Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fly Fox. Yeah, that's the reason I see his art all the time. Yeah, Lone Wolf issue 2 for a crowd-funded comic. Cool. That sounds really fun.
Oh, that's
be in
cool.
with a big crowd putting out a comic. Do you have you confidence that it's going to come out? I mean, you're working with people, or you think anybody's going to say, "There's no money in this"?
Wait, what are you talking about? Lone Wolf 2 or Black
Well,
Cricket?
yeah, I mean, I would just wonder if Fly Fox is confident.
Okay.
Wim's got an interesting point. When writing veterans military, you have to keep in mind they have their own way of cussing. Yeah, I mean, every little culture is going to have something that sounds right coming out of their mouth. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Oh no, the old quadruped. Contrary to the title, is full of wolves, which I'd never drawn before. Well, get reference.
No, I just thought, my
your version to horses.
Oh yeah, there was some YouTuber that was confessing that he was completely dyslexic, and his big cure for it. Now I've forgotten his cure for it.
Oh no!
Yeah, I've done absolutely no good for anyone today by forgetting the cure.
Have you seen this book, Ellis?
Oh, Ellis put a bug in Doug's here to do more art videos. Doug is, like he says, his pride and joy is having figured out the algorithm for driving huge traffic. And for him to go back to doing something like, my 200,000 followers or however many he's up to, saying, hey, watch me draw Earth Farm Jim. He would be like, where'd the numbers go? And why did I lose? Why did I lose so many? That sort of thing. He's being gingerly about that, because he's in a point where he's really making money. And,
when has he not made money?
Well, I don't think, those big elaborate things. He had big campaigns on those big hardcover books, but I bet you they were just practically a wash on how much he did make. I mean, you get $100,000 and you've got this big gilt-edged hardcover. It didn't leave you much profit.
Well, there's probably some truth to that.
Doug Garrett has a good track record. I did the lettering on his last comic, Psychotron. Cool. Man, Flyfox is much more active than I knew he was.
It's that fake name.
Oh, the Jack Ham book is great. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Jack Ham book is good. I got out my Weatherly's.
Dan is logging off. Goodbye,
What?
Dan. We'll see you. He says, got a little work to do before turning in. He's got.
Oh yeah, it's late.
He's got
he's an hour ahead of us too.
Got to do the War of Art. You bet.
Wait, he better not be drawn. Oh no.
I miss watching it. Yeah, Doug. And again, it's that disease where some people really hate the solitary. The exile of it all, of creating comics, and he would bring all those people in just to keep them company while he inked. That's never going to happen again, I don't think. Scott, keep up the great work. I will add that page we discussed to chapter 2.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Good night, FFP. Who's FFP? Flyfox Pro. He said goodbye too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he said, "Oh, I'm staying." Okay. You too, Wim. See ya. Night all. Oh, everybody else is. Hey, I guess it's probably time for us to get out of here.
It's time. We've been almost an hour.
Yeah.
And started late.
Autistic one needs me is Wim's sign off.
Oh,
we
I got to take care of that.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I need to go also. I came in late and I started coffee, but I hadn't got any yet. So
well, go get that coffee.
I'm going
okay,
to.
Scott. Thanks everybody for dropping in. That kept it more interesting for me. Yeah. Okay, we're ending. Bye-bye.